Still finding my way in this locker room. First thing I told those guys is thank you for saving me. I appreciate him. I appreciate every guy in that locker room. I appreciate Paul for getting on that phone last year at the end of the season when it was time to do a buyout with Detroit. I'm thankful for everything I've experienced being here.
Ideally, if Reggie Jackson doesn't come back, who can the Clippers replace him with? Like, what other trade or free agent prospects out there can the Clippers use or find to replace Reggie Jackson if he doesn't come back, ideally? Well, let me just say this, if Reggie Jackson doesn't come back, I'm not sure they can replace him. It's going to be hard because, like I said, chemistry, the camaraderie with the team and everybody, what they went through last year, or this year, I should say, in the playoffs, it was just adversity. They went through adversity. They went through everything you could think of that the media and a lot of people expected them to go through, but they didn't expect them to be as resilient. And the team that they shown that they could be in situations of showing dominance when they were being down 0-2 in every series, decline back in every series, and damn near win every one besides his last one, only because they didn't have their superstar in Kawhi Leonard. It showed toughness of this team. It showed resiliency. It showed a team that had a lot of pride. And a part of all that toughness and pride, you combat all that, and there you have Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson was a huge piece of what they did, very big focal point of their journey going through the playoffs. And I think they would have continued a lot further had they had their superstar in Kawhi. But that's neither here nor there at this point. But at the same time, the comebacks, the everything they had, and the fight that they had in these playoffs, a lot of it was due to Reggie Jackson, because we know Paul George, we know Kawhi Leonard, we know how good of players they can be when they get it going. But I've always said in the playoffs, you need that third guy to come in there and literally give you something that the other two players can't give you, which is another scoring option, because we know, like I said, Kawhi and PG is going to score, but they still need help too at times, especially when you're going through a 7-game series in the playoffs. And most teams that always win championships, that third guy is always usually pretty consistent, or he's consistent enough to help them get over the hump. And the best player just finishes the series off as he's supposed to. So my point to it is this: if you look at what they have accomplished in these playoffs and throughout the season, they've really been playing really well. They were a really good team this season. And what they did in the playoffs was nothing short of amazing, if you ask me. And I think Reggie Jackson was a big part of that. So when you look at Reggie and you pair him with Kawhi and PG, he fits really well with them. Because you can give Reggie the ball, he can create his own shot. He's not one of those players or shooters in the corner waiting for you to pass the ball to him where he can catch and shoot. No, Reggie could take people off the dribble. He can actually score on his own. He's got a decent mid-range. And he surprised a lot of people how he can get to the basket and score, in these crucial playoff games the way he did. He surprised me especially. And he definitely surprised a lot of people with his three-point shooting, because, the handle, he's always had a handle where he can get around players and, get where he wants on the floor. But the reason why I don't think he was looked at as good of a player as he's shown in these playoffs in previous years was because he didn't take it to another level. And what we saw in these playoffs before Kawhi went down, after he went down, he took it to another level. And what he did to keep them in games, even there were games this season in the playoffs where Kawhi and PG wasn't playing their best, and Reggie Jackson was holding it down. And matter of fact, there's a couple games where Reggie Jackson literally damn near brought the team back by himself with them being down X amount of points. So his value is very high. And I know he's going to want to get paid, and as he should want to get paid. I'm just saying that I think he should, consider staying with the Clippers, because there's really not many options out there. But I will say this, and I'm saying this now: if the Clippers decide to trade or if Reggie Jackson leaves and doesn't come back or re-signs with the Clippers, they have to replace him with a player like Spencer Dinwiddie. A player like Spencer Dinwiddie is almost an equal to what Reggie Jackson was or is to the Clippers as we speak, because he can get his own shot. He can score. He can, get to the rim. He's just an all-around scorer, but he's a really good. A couple seasons ago, I thought he was the best sixth man in the league, even over Lou Williams. I just thought he was. His gameplay, how he plays, and how he scores, and he shoots pretty efficient as well. He's not like a bad shooter or something like that. Spencer Dinwiddie is actually pretty good, So, if you're going to replace Reggie Jackson, if there was a such thing of replacing him, hopefully he comes back. But if he does go, if they're going to replace Reggie Jackson, they have to get Spencer Dinwiddie. They have to get somebody that's pretty equal to what Reggie Jackson is and his capabilities, because him and Reggie Jackson are almost the same player, except Reggie might have a little bit more flair to his game, maybe, but Spencer Dinwiddie gets buckets. So, that's the only ideal thought I can say where I would say, yeah, that's somebody that's pretty formidable, pretty close, or about same equal as Reggie Jackson. It's just the fact that, we will miss Reggie Jackson on the Clippers because I feel like he did so much for this team in such short amount of time. Being that third guy is a big thing, especially in the playoffs, because that's the guy that gets less of the credit, but that's the guy that helps them get over the hump. And, especially if everybody else is healthy. So, just the fact that losing Reggie Jackson is not good. I really don't condone that. But at the same time, if they do, they definitely need a player like Spencer Dinwiddie or the likes, of a player of his caliber, I should say. But that's exactly how I feel about the situation. But if you ask me, like I said, keep the team the exact same, run it back. And I can't stress it enough. So that's just my take on it. But hey, let me know what you think in the comment section about it. You think Reggie Jackson will resign? Do you feel comfortable with him leaving? Do you feel comfortable, getting other pieces? Let me know what you think in the comment section, as we always do. And hey, Khaliis out.